Welcome to the incredible Rockets Propaganda Channel. I am your host, AK Infinity. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at AKInfinity_VVS. If you ain't following me by now, you probably just a hater. But you probably know you a hater though. But today we got a very, very special guest in the house. I want everybody, get on your feet, stand up, put your hands together for my boy SpaceGhost from the Rockets Chop Shop. Spit at him, SpaceGhost.
Man, what's going on, Rockets fans, man? Appreciate it, man. This is a great collabo with my boy AK Infinity, man. He been coming through the chop shop, chopping it up with us, man. This man is very knowledgeable. Y'all need to give this man a follow. Y'all need to hit the like button. Y'all need to do whatever, man. Share this man content, man. He on the rise in the Rockets community and just in general the sports community, man. And it's a pleasure for me to be here and chop it up with you about some basketball, baby.
Appreciate you, my guy. Man, it's trade season right now. We got all different kind of things going on in the Rockets world, in the sports world, in the NBA, all together, man. First thing I kind of want to shoot at you is, bruh, what's up with this Mikal Bridges, Jalen Green nonsense that we seeing, bro? What is that, dog?
When I first heard it, I was like, come on, that's nonsense. You 4 first-round picks and Jalen Green just to get him Mikal Bridges. But the more and more, like 2-3 days afterwards, you see that like Sam Echo, and all of these people like that got actual access collaborating with Kelly Eco and guys like that. You gotta kind of be wondering, man, do it got a little steam to it? But even then, from our position, I don't think it makes much sense. But if you're looking at it from Brooklyn's position, it'll make perfect sense. But they still denied it. So I don't think that really had legs to get off the ground anyway if Brooklyn denied basically their future back. Now they can tank and do whatever they want to do. And for them to deny that, and you get, I wouldn't say a star level player, but you still get a young guy that you can groom and come up, and Jalen been playing better recently. I don't see why they denied it if that's the truth. But
right, it
I'm
just doesn't make any sense at all, in any way. Not at least not for especially not for Brooklyn, because bruh, you mean to tell me you gonna pass up 4 first-round picks and a young and up-and-coming player for Mikal Bridges? Bruh, if that's really the deal, you supposed to not even say nothing. You supposed to just make the deal and, fly Jalen Green in the next day and start counting your first-round draft picks and start being able to get ready to tank and all of that. But you're not doing that. And then there's another report coming out talking about some 5 first-round draft picks. Bruh, now you telling me a player that ain't never been an all-NBA player, never been an all-star, you gonna give up 5 first-round picks to get that guy? Really? Does that make any sense? Any GM that actually takes that deal, that's probably your last deal, man. You ain't gonna be another GM again.
Yeah, and any GM that's offering that,
right,
offering 5 first-round picks, bro, like Mikal Bridges, I like him. He's solid.
Yeah.
His best ability is availability. He always there. I don't think he even missed a game, but like one game, and that was because he was getting shipped from Phoenix to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So he couldn't play, you know what I'm saying, like that 1 or 2 games. But as far as injury-wise, as far as being a team player, complete player that can impact the game on offense and defense, why? I don't think he's worth that much, though.
Nah.
He's not worth that
player.
Much.
Like
right.
A second overall pick from 2021, you getting all that and you turn it down? Ain't no way. Cap. I called Cap on that. As soon as I seen that, I was like, nah, that gotta be Cap. Ain't no way. And that has to be Brooklyn leaking the story.
Not necessarily though, because like I said, Kelly Eco and these other guys, they actually got together and old buddy wrote a piece for it. So I'm guessing the Rockets was entertaining it a little bit. I don't know if it's all the way cap, but it's just more like like if me and you just sitting up there just shooting it, like what would it take? You know, what would
That's
this take
what it was.
to move this? You know what I'm saying? But as far as being 100% on moving them, I don't know if they was actually ready to make that move right then. I don't think it was like a for sure offer that boom, this is what they was probably just kicking the tires around. You know, kicking the tires, seeing what would it take to give Mikal Bridges. Brooklyn probably had the price extremely high, just like Daryl Morey used to do. Daryl Morey, he'll set a price so high that even if you come down from that asking price, the price is still expensive to you. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of a lot of posturing, some smoke screens, and I don't know if there's really, I don't know if it was really foregone conclusion that the Rockets was in on it and was actually gonna go through with it.
Yeah, ain't no way, man. That wouldn't make. I think it is what you said. They was going back and forth talking about how the framework of the deal would look. Then Brooklyn has what they want, and who knows if they really leaked that accurate information. Like, who knows if that's really what the conversation sounded like. But maybe at the same time too, they probably got to put the conversation out there like that so they can posture for other teams, because there's a bunch of teams that would love Mikal Bridges, a bunch of them.
Right.
And I think in case they probably posturing in case the Rockets don't bend at all, maybe somebody else will give them more than they would have if that story wouldn't have come out. That's what it sounded like.
But then I understand like setting your price high, but then you pretty much eliminating almost half the league. Mm-hmm. You know, because half the league don't have those assets, draft assets, don't have even a prerequisite player that they can even probably throw into it or won't even want to part with to get Mikal Bridges. And essentially you selling your whole future for a guy that's like don't get me wrong, I love what Mikal Bridges brings to the table and what he has to offer on teams. Like, I think he can fit probably on almost any team. But you cutting out a lot of the, especially like contenders, and so you really aiming for bottom feeder teams like us because we got a lot of Detroit, you know, Utah, like those type of teams, like that's looking to build up. Maybe the Wizards, maybe a team like that probably, but I don't see no other team that can actually help them as far as draft wise, because even so, the lure behind our picks is it's their picks. It's theirs. And they can do, and they'll be able to control their future with those picks. Like other people picks, other teams picks, you're gonna have to rely on outside influences and hope and wish and pray that this team be bad or this team blow it up. You know, sort of like how we was in a position with this Harden trade. We just was wishing that Brooklyn, it would come to this, where Brooklyn was thinking about tanking. And now it's an advantage for us that they are, and they're not a great team. But I don't see what's Brooklyn purpose on setting that price so high. Like, unless it's trying to just, I set it real high, we meet in the middle, and it's still pretty much a high price to come out with.
Now, if Rafael Stone was a seasoned general manager, you know what he should do? Leak a story of a trade proposal to another team that involves that same Brooklyn pick and show Brooklyn, hey, I'm going to trade this pick to somebody in your same conference. Keep playing with me.
Right.
If he was a smart GM, I ain't going to say he's a stupid GM, but if he was a savvy GM like old buddy Danny Ainge, what you think Danny Ainge going to think about that kind of a trade package, bro? What you think he going to do to even counter that if you put something like that in the news? Like, Danny Ainge
you dealing with a shark, an old veteran in Danny Ainge. You know, those guys of the world, like, they already know all the ins and outs, the bells and whistles, the counter. They already know what the next step will be. They probably can foresee a few steps ahead of what Stone can, and because they already been there, done that. They've been doing that for 30, 40 years. Pat Riley and guys like that, GMs that's noted and highly esteemed, and actually been there and done that for years to come. So of course he gonna counter that some type of way, leak another story, or tease them out there for, like you say, for other teams. If you really want these picks, you're gonna have to show how bad you want it, because I got other suitors on the table and I'm not just dealing with just you. So Stone, he got his work cut out for him. I know you see me always on my live streams. I be hesitant to just give Stone all his credit, because he haven't. The reason why I would say I'm so critical on Stone is because it seemed like it's hard for him to thread the needle, and he's always reactive than proactive. You could thread the needle by getting young guys and at least facilitating the team around them to help them succeed, even though you're tanking. And he wasn't able to juggle like multiple balls, basically. Like he can't juggle. He's like a one track mind, and as far as drafting, it was like talent. But a GM got to do more than just draft. A GM got to put together a competent roster. Even with our roster this year, you see the holes in them, and he haven't showed me anything of worth for me to put my 100% faith in him.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, because outside of the draft, what can we really say that he did well? Because okay, he hired. Let's look at some of Stone's moves. He hired Steven Silas. We don't need to go there.
Enough said.
Enough said. At the same time, he also did hire Ime Udoka too. But some people saying that's Patrick Fertitta, Tillman Fertitta. But I'm gonna give Stone that. We can go ahead and give Stone that. But
you can.
I'm gonna give it to him. I'm a giving guy. I'm gonna give it to him.
Right. The only reason why I say I wouldn't give him that move specifically is because you remember when he hired Steven Silas, it was him and Steven Silas on the podium doing the introduction for Steven Silas to the thing. This time around, Tillman was up there, and it was like he was basically putting his stamp on Ime, like we needed to go get him. And it was more like I made that decision more than Stone. Stone hardly even spoke in that whole press conference, introduction of Ime Udoka. So I think that was more of a Stone and Patrick move, if you ask me. I mean, a Patrick Fertitta move and a Tillman move than a Stone move. But if you want to give it to him, you can give it to him, because I ain't gonna give him too much.
Nah, I get it, bro. I get it. I mean, the reason I'm gonna give it to him is because he's still a GM at the time of the hiring, so I'm gonna put that under his belt. But then you look at free agency. Okay, Christian Wood, for what it was at the time, that was a solid signing. That was cool. Even though we did get rid of him a couple seasons later, I think what we even got back for that trade when we traded Christian Wood is even gone now anyway. When you look at the Daniel Tice signing, he got offered Daniel Tice immediately, but we got back Dennis Schroeder. But Dennis Schroeder didn't stay. He was gone. Who else came after that? Like just
the
look
Boogie
at
Cousins.
Yeah, Boogie. Well, the Boogie Cousins, John Walls,
Oladipo in the Harden trade.
Yeah, Oladipo. But then we could also
let Jared Allen go to the Cavs.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. In hindsight, that don't look at the time. You know, I did want Jared Allen. I did, but just in looking at what all of that kind of started when we got all these draft picks, which I am liking, at the time, like you can only live at the time because you don't know what your draft position is going to be and none of that. But at the time, it wasn't really looked at as the best move out there. He could have done something else, and he didn't do something else. Who else he signed and who else he traded for? He traded. I remember the EG trade I did like. the EG trade was a good trade.
That was one of his better trades.
Yeah, that was a good trade. I believe that trade is what actually got us Cam Whitmore.
Yeah, because Cam failed.
That's true, but 19 other teams was like, we're not gonna touch him. Stone had the stones to actually go in and draft him, so I'm gonna give him that. The thing about when some of these guys fall, now go ahead.
Now I was gonna say, who else was out there besides Cam at that spot?
That, as much as that's true, you could have said that about every spot after number 10.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just saying, like,
why didn't they take him? Stone was like I'm gonna get
right. I don't want to seem hypercritical, like he can't do nothing right. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But when you got the 2nd overall pick, the 5th overall pick, and Jabari was the 3rd overall pick.
Yeah.
I mean, players do bust out. I'm not gonna lie, but everybody that we got,
Sengun failed.
Yeah, everybody that we got was in line to be there. I don't think you could say that he went out of like the expected norm of these players. Like everyone that we got, like Jalen Green, he was always projected to need to go 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. Jabari, he was expected to go at least 1, but he failed a 3. We kind of got, you know, I don't know if you want to say lucky or not, because Chet and what's the name? They look like they
they
Paolo,
look like it's looking
the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it looked like he, on the surface, it looked like he was drafted in the right spot. He probably more than likely was the number 3 pick in that draft. Now, some people could probably say, Keegan Murray, no, Keegan Murray was the year before, I believe.
No, Keegan Murray was in the Jabari draft, yeah.
He was, yeah. I think you could probably make a case for like Keegan Murray or somebody like that. Probably should have been 3, but the situation that Jabari
too high.
I still think Jabari would still be the better player in the long run. You know what I'm saying? So it's not like So it's not like he did anything extraordinary. Like, luckily these last 3 drafts were strong drafts. Well, pretty much if you're not just blanking, you're gonna get a good player at that high of a spot.
True enough, but we also got to remember, Stone traded 2 first-round picks to get Sengun. That was a trade.
Yeah, that was.
So
but
that was.
We also got to remember too. I don't know if you remember the report. You remember before, right after we drafted Sengun, it came out. The front office was kind of split on him, and it was Eli Wittis that really pushed for us to get Sengun, since he's a heavy analytical guy. That's in like he's the analytical guy in our front office in our. Our Rockets brass, if you so say. He looked at Sengun numbers and was like, this guy is going to be projected out to be a good player. Mm-hmm. And it was more of a stamp from that article that was more of an Eli Wittis pick than Stone. But, semantics, I guess, but either way it goes.
Still had to do it.
Either way it got to do it. Yeah, either way it go, all of these players are going to get credited under Stone.
Exactly, and that's kind of where I'm at, because we don't really know what goes behind some of these stuff, because a lot of times the GM just the face. Look at Philadelphia. Yeah. Morey ain't the GM, he the president. Morey the president. It's Elton Brand is the GM, and he bad. He's sorry. He a sorry GM, boy.
You don't like Brand?
I don't like Elton Brand as GM. I liked him as a player though. But,
I'm talking about it as far as GM.
As a GM, I think he was bad, bro. I think he was bad. But
fair enough.
Man, I hope I like Joel Embiid, and I would like him to win a ring, but I don't want Daryl Morey to win no ring, because screw that guy. Same with James Harden. I like the Clippers team and the stuff around them, but I don't want James Harden to get no damn ring. Nope. I'm petty like that.
I don't want nobody to get a ring with the Rockets anyway.
Right. Hell, if we could win a ring this year, pie in the sky. But we win a ring this year, boy, do you know how crazy? I'm going to be very annoying. Like, I'm going to be trolling a lot of people on Twitter, boy.
Bro.
Man,
even though we far from that, bro,
we
if that
far
was
from
to happen, it's going to be a miracle. I'm going to be insufferable.
Dog, let me tell you. People think Rockets Twitter is insufferable now. You better hope we don't win, boy. We insufferable just in our DNA. Let us win a title and see what happens. Boy, they're gonna have to ban a lot of people off that app, though. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
The media, they're gonna have to go run and hide somewhere and take 2-month vacation because we're gonna be in their DMs hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
Nah,
so, like, one thing I wanted to mention, bringing it back to the Brooklyn thing and the trades. Jalen, I would kind of feel sorry for Jalen.
Yeah.
And I'm not meaning like baby him or anything like that, but to go from 3 years of tanking, then get traded to another tanking team, so essentially that'll probably be another 3, maybe even 4 years of tanking, because you never know how good your quick your turnaround is gonna be.
Yeah,
that man would have to be dealt with 6 to 7 years of tanking basketball, and then I think by then he'd probably be ruined. You know what I'm saying? Like his value would be tanked too. Yeah, even his whole mentality. Yeah. Like, when am I gonna ever get on a winning team? You know what I'm saying?
And that has to wear on a player, man. Even if you're not even one of them guys if you're one of them guys who just really about your numbers, man, you still want to win because you're not taking the court to go lose.
Right.
Nobody likes losing. People take losing differently, but nobody likes losing, man.
He'll be like a Bradley Beal. He'll be looked at it like Bradley Beal. Even if he end up hitting, going above probably what we think and what we see him now. If he's on a tanking team again and he's just that empty stat stuffer on a losing team, he already got that jacket that he's not a winning player. And if you go to another losing culture, and it's gonna be hard for him to take off that jacket, you know what I'm saying, and prove the haters wrong.
I don't understand why he would have that jacket so hard, but when you look at somebody like, let's even look at Scotty Barnes, or let's even look at Cade Cunningham, who went number 1 overall. Why he ain't got that jacket on him? You know what I'm saying? Why he ain't got the jacket on him? Is it because he in a small market?
Really?
And I'm a Cade guy. I like him.
Yeah. I really I can't tell you. Like, it's narrative.
I can tell you, I got some theories.
When you looking at it, as far as fans, most fans like gritty, tough, big players, head down, bring their lunch pail to work. Jalen is like a model. You know what I'm saying? A model basketball player. He flashy. He paint his nails.
Flamboyant. Yeah,
he flamboyant. He wore bell bottoms to the draft, glittery, looked like Michael Jackson. And
a lot of these
some
guys
people
is
just
like that though.
Yeah, but it's just I don't know why. It's just something different about Jalen that the haters just gravitate to.
Part of it, I think, is the Houston thing. Like, you put on the Rockets jersey. I don't know how Şengün is doing it because nobody hate him. Everybody like him. But boy, you put on the Rockets jersey, all of a sudden, it's either you gonna be super underrated or they gonna trash talk you or ignore you. All of that. Like, you don't nothing come good when you put on the Rockets jersey for whatever reason. I don't know why that is. I think some of that has to do with Daryl Morey though, in his time here.
Right. I think with Şengün, it's hard to deny talent. And if you look at him, he's talented. Mm-hmm. Then you could just look at the situation like, oh, he's just in a bad situation. And then we already got his archetype, the Jokic. Like, almost everybody love Jokic. And he already plays similar to him. So it's not like, it's nothing out of the ordinary to see what he's doing. But it kind of is because he's doing it at such a young age. So he already have almost a foreshadow of what he can become in Jokic. And, Jokic is already MVP. And if you translate that to Şengün, maybe one day he'll be an MVP type player, which is high and lofty goals, of course. But then when you look at Jalen, shooting guards almost got a bad rap anyway in the league. They're shot chuckers. They don't play defense. Yeah, they don't contribute to winning ball. You know what I'm saying? Like, what more are you going to be able to do than the past 20 other shooting guards that came out that really ain't did nothing? Like I said, Bradley Beal. Like what's gonna separate you from Batty Bill or Zach LaVine or somebody like that on that level? So Jalen, he got his work cut out for him, and then it didn't help that his numbers didn't reflect that he was a good player because we was tanking and we were losing, like flat out. We were losing. So that but like you said, Caden was losing too. They're losing too, but it's just something about that archetype of player that Jalen is, running dunk, flashy.
Yeah,
you think it don't come with no right. It don't come with no substance on the winning team. Like we need to put up wins. If you're doing all of that and winning, you'll get the recognition.
Oh, for sure. I 100% believe that. Something about these G League Ignite guys, man. That's gonna have to be a study that's done in the next couple of years. Once they get like 5 years of their program, I might do my own little case study on G League Ignite compared to players of the same draft, similar draft slots. I might have to do something like that because it is a very interesting thing. Like the G League Ignite program doesn't look like it really is rearing winning players. Like these guys just there hooping, knowing that after 15 games, they're gonna go in the NBA. Probably on a bad team, and you probably not gonna win immediately anyway. I don't know about their program, but we'll see. I want to give it time because it looked like if Jalen Green starts to look a little bit better and look like actual number 2 pick, or they not necessarily have to look like a number 2 pick, but look like worth a lottery pick, the narrative might change a little bit. Same thing with Scoot Henderson. There were some other guys too. What's this guy that plays for New Orleans? Kuminga's another one too. He's starting to. This is third season. He's starting to come out and play a little bit better now too. They're not winning as much, but he's starting to come out a little bit. I think sometimes too, man, we forget. You and I grew up in an era where dudes didn't come in the NBA until you was 21, 22 years old. And then you ain't even start immediately. No. So a lot of these guys that's coming in the league in general now, they 19 years old, 20 years old. Boys can't drink. You can't hang out with none of your teammates really like that. You know what I'm saying? How much are we expecting a little bit too much from some of these young guys immediately? Because you got the people like, you got the Zions who come in phenom. Look at Wemby now. Come in phenom. What's the difference? Body. Their bodies is different. Both of them guys are genetic freaks in different ways. So my kind of theory on that is, then again, you start to think about it. Anthony Bennett, he had a man's body coming out of college,
but I think he came out in a weak draft almost too. Well,
yeah, that's kind of true.
He didn't. That wasn't really a stacked up draft, if I'm remembering correctly, unless I'm just whiffing on somebody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I think to a certain degree, we do. I think we do end up not overvaluing, but asking probably a little bit too much from these guys, especially coming in, like you say, 19, 20, 21 years old. Their body's not filled out. The brain mentally haven't even filled out. They haven't even seen some of the defensive schemes that's been ran on a NBA level. Yeah. And till all of that comes together, 23, 24, 25, then it'll be fair. But I think guys like Luka, Trae Young, these guys that hit immediately, like you say, Zion, Wemby, you kind of get a misconception about how real basketball really takes time to actually get your game together. Because when you coming from the glorified AAU, then you go straight to the G League. Well, real oriented basketball, like plays and things of that nature, is really isn't emphasized
at all.
They're behind the curve. They're behind the curve.
All they know is go get numbers.
Right. And me and Frank, we actually kind of did a little think piece on it. I think you're well served going to college because it forces you to work on your game. They play a lot of zones, so you got to work on your threes and your mid range. They play the floor spacing is not ideal, so you got to be able to work on your dribbling and get around people. Everyone got a guy sitting in the paint, so you got to be able to draw fouls, learn how to get into bodies, draw fouls, be more physical, so you can get the whistle, and it just translate better to what we see in the NBA. So once you come from that aspect, and then you got all this space in the NBA, you ready. You ready. You done been in NBA systems, because a lot of these systems in college are offensive wise are running like kind of NBA systems a lot. And the only thing you usually see with guys coming out of college is if the shooting is going to translate, since the 3-point line is a little bit further away. And usually by the end of the first or second season, if they were a good shooter in college, they end up being a good shooter in the league. So
Lonzo
I think it's just beneficial. Yeah, I think it's just beneficial, bro, that you go to college and then the whole aspect of the tournament.
Yeah, you on national TV. Basketball. The media is there. You playing high leverage games with a bunch of media attention on it.
Right.
And a lot of guys make their name in the tournament, and then their draft stock go up. Gordon Hayward. Right. Gordon Hayward wasn't a guy who people thought was going to go in the lottery like that until that tournament. And then they ended up going to the championship game. They lost. But boy, you remember that shot? Everybody still talk about that shot. Yeah. That went off the backboard. It could have went
off the backboard, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. So that's a good point, man. The college thing, I think that's going to be the way. I don't know what they're gonna have to do differently with their G League Ignite program, but we'll see how these guys shape up. There's another dude in New Orleans. I forgot his name, man. Light-skinned cat. Dyson Daniels. Yeah, he was down there too, with the Ignite. There's been a few other guys too. Dacian Nix.
Yeah. Don't say that. Don't even say Knicks. Straight up. You can't even say Knicks to a Rockets fan, bro.
Nah, bro. Yeah, man. Let's kind of pivot over. I kind of wanted to touch on the Steven Adams trade. I don't think I ever got your thoughts exactly on that. To me, I think that's another stone blunder. Well, not blunder, but giving up too much to not get enough.
I mean, in a vacuum, I think it's a good trade for the future, for next year, and maybe possibly after that. But in the position that we're in right now, fighting to try to get into a play-in or even make the playoffs, I would want it to see more of a guy that can actually contribute this year for whatever we gave up. The Oladipo contract and the 2 seconds. And let's not poo-poo second rounders, because if you remember last year around trade deadline time, almost everybody went for second rounds. I think maybe only 1 first or 2 first rounds was dished out last year around the trade deadline.
Yeah,
it was all second rounds.
A bunch of second rounders, 4 second rounders, 5 second rounders. Man, that's crazy because of this new CBA. And second rounders, they're a lot more valuable now.
Yeah. So we can't poo-poo that those second rounders is just, second rounders. But I would just want to see more of a guy that's going to contribute and help us out this season. A healthy Steven Adams, I probably wouldn't even say nothing. I'd probably give that a B+ trade. But a hurt Steven Adams,
we don't know what we're actually gonna get.
Right.
However, I'm gonna say this: Steven Adams wasn't exactly like super athletic like a Clint Capella catching alleys and super mobile. Not that he was a liability or a slouch athletically or nothing like that, but his game wasn't that. It was big, strong, tough, physical dude. He set hard screens. He gonna box out 3 people by himself. All of that, like all of them little stuff, all the stuff that you don't really see on the box score at the end of the night. So if his game isn't too heavily affected in that way, all right, cool. But at the same time, I still think we could have used the Oladipo contract and them 3 second rounders in a better way. We could have aggregated that in a different deal. There was a deal that I wanted to do. I don't think I even ever put this on Twitter. But I was thinking we could have made a deal with somebody like Chicago. We could have gave up Tate, Landale, I think probably another person, a couple other pieces, and maybe even that Brooklyn first round pick to get Alex Caruso and Andre Drummond. Because Caruso, his contract doesn't expire until 25. And if anything, you could probably flip him for a good draft pick next trade deadline and not this one. Maybe with Fred VanVleet. You just never know. You could probably do something like that. And then with Andre Drummond, he'll help us immediately. And he'll do a lot of the similar things that Steven Adams does, except he's like a human vacuum. When the rebound is in the air, it's his. If you miss a shot, you just know that you got a defensive board. Just know
he gobbling it up.
Yeah, he got that. I'm thinking of trade like that. And then with Lonzo Ball, I would have threw Lonzo Ball in that deal too. I would have accepted him back, so maybe that we don't have to give up way too much, because that's a bad contract too. But he also come off the books in 25. I think he has a player option or something like that for 26, which is still going to be an asset because it's going to be an expiring down the road. And if somebody does come available, you'll have some salary to add in and make another deal. And you still got your second rounders. You know what I'm saying? I think they still got one in this draft, but I'm thinking like a deal like that probably would have been good, not only in the short term, but kind of forecasting down the road too. What you think?
I'm not real pressed on getting Lonzo Ball back. Like,
right. Just the contract. It wouldn't be.
But yeah, for sure. Yeah, it'd be for the money. But Caruso for sure. He shoots 3-and-D. He a real 3-and-D guy. Shoots, can play a little point guard sometimes too. He's I wouldn't say an all-world defender, but he's a damn good defender on the perimeter.
Put it to you like this: he better than Tate at everything.
Yeah,
they do all of the same stuff. Caruso just do it better.
Yeah, you know me and Tate. I've been out on Tate for at least over a year and a half now. I've been saying we need to move Tate. You know what I'm saying? So no argument from me with Tate. You know what I'm saying? No argument from me. Drummond, I'm more like on Drummond, but I would get Drummond if I'm gonna get Caruso. You know what I'm saying? I think Caruso would probably be that valuable to our team to where I accept Andre Drummond just so I can get Caruso.
Yeah,
now,
and same thing with the Lonzo Ball contract, but you take that back just so you don't have to give up any more premium draft capital or players or anything like that. You take that back, right. You can get them at Brooklyn first for next year, because I don't think the Rockets actually want to draft anybody this coming draft. I don't think it makes too much sense to do that.
I mean, unless you looking at it like we can get another off guard maybe, but Cam Whitmore, it looked like either Cam or Jalen is going to be that two-guard tandem. Either one's going to be starting, one's going to be off the bench.
Cam busting down the door, boy.
Man, I'm telling you.
He busting that door down.
And he breathing on Jalen neck, man. I'm not going to lie. Like
I think he pushing Jalen. Look at Jalen. He pushing Jalen. And Jalen is one of them guys like that where he kind of does like competition. You know what I mean?
Right.
I feel like he likes competition. He needs somebody to kind of push him. Hey, man, whatever gets you going, man. Whatever gets you going, young blood. Do your thing. But just remember, next time you have an off game, guess who taking your minutes?
Right.
But the thing about Cam, though, he's too much of a specialist right now. Like, microwave scorer off the bench. Sure, he does some other little stuff, too. He is pretty chaotic on defense. Like, he'll try to go and get steals and all that. He rebounds pretty decently, too. But some of them shots, some of his basketball IQ, it still has to catch up. I think when it does catch up, then we can really talk about, all right, he needs to start. But for now, I wouldn't start him over Jalen.
No, definitely not.
A lot of the fan base wants him to, but I think
I think it's a little too early for that. A little too early for that. And if we were to use the draft pick, I would think it'd just probably be for a backup center type dude. Truthfully, either a backup center dude or a dude that can come off of screens and hit threes. You know, and you can microwave, like you say, put him in there. He gonna reel off 3-4 threes, you know, within the course of the game, and keep us shooting wise into the game and keep the defense honest without just collapsing the paint. One problem that I think we have right now is that all our guys are paint-oriented guys. Jalen needs to drive to the paint. Fred VanVleet, he's better shooting like the mid-range, high elbow in the paint type than threes.
Yeah.
Şengün, obviously, he's going to be in the paint. Jabari like to work off the elbow, you know, for more of a go-to shot. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Even though he can shoot the three. Dylan Brooks, he's got to go and drive to the lane. I mean, it's all paint-oriented guys that we need an offsetting guy. If these guys are going to be doubling Şengün in the paint, we need somebody on the outside you're going to have to respect. Because if you don't, he going to hurt you from three.
That's what Reggie Bullock was saying.
Right. And he's nothing like that right now. Haven't been that. You know what I'm saying? So if we was to use that draft pick, backup center in a shooting guard, maybe small forward hybrid, comes off like a Keegan Murray type guy. You know what I'm saying? Get off the screen, shoot threes, and can drain buckets that way.
The question then becomes, who does he play over?
He's not gonna play over nobody. Both of them gonna be on the bench. That's why we're not picking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 no more. It'll be 14, 15, 16, you know what I'm saying, in that area.
Yeah.
So won't be no pressure for him to come in and start.
Yeah, it wouldn't be. And I think that's the right way to go with a lot of these rookies in the first place, no matter how high they were even drafted. I actually plan on doing a little video about why it's okay that guys like Amen, Cam Whitmore, and even Jabari were not just given the reins immediately to just come in and start and do whatever. I'm about to do a video on that. And there's 3 players I'm going to highlight who were in similar situations. Kawhi Leonard was a role player at first when he was drafted. Paul George was a role player. James Harden was a role player in OKC until that third season when he won 6th Man of the Year. But it's something about these guys who start off their career as role players. Kobe was a role player as a rookie. Let's not get it twisted. Yeah. Kobe was a role player. As a matter of fact,
he was coming out behind Eddie Jones, I believe, wasn't it? Eddie Jones.
It was Eddie Jones. I remember Eddie Jones. Eddie Jones was nice back in the gap.
I liked Eddie Jones. Yeah, I did too.
So I actually did a video. I did 2 separate videos, one on Jalen and one on Şengün, where I compared Jalen and Şengün to other historic people at their position. For Jalen, I kind of did more just guard, not necessarily shooting guard or point guard. I compared them to 4 MVP guards who, when they were age 21, nobody was looking at their games like, oh yeah, they're gonna win MVP down the road. You wanna know who the 4 are? I can tell you, I can go ahead and spoil it.
For sure.
Steph, Westbrook, Harden, and Kobe. None of them was tearing the world apart at age 21. None of them.
Yeah.
None of them were. Not that they was trash, but they wasn't setting the world on fire. Nobody was looking at them like, yeah, them gonna be some MVP players down the road. Nobody thought that. With Şengün, I looked at different Hall of Fame big men. One of them was Vlade Divac. People don't remember, but Vlade Divac was a baller back in the gap.
Solid.
He was a
baller.
Solid. Yeah. Paul Gasol was another one. Chris Webber was another one. And obviously Jokic.
Yeah.
When they was 21 years old, they wasn't exactly setting the world on fire. As a matter of fact, the person that had the best numbers at age 21 was Chris Webber. Ain't gonna lie. Chris Webber was a phenom.
Bro,
he was a phenom.
I liked Chris Webber a whole lot, bro.
Man.
I did.
Which version you like the most?
If he didn't run into Shaq in the Lakers.
Nah. Sacramento would have been champs 2 times over.
Yeah, they would have probably had at least 2 championships, I would think.
Yeah, for sure. Although I still think they got cheated out of one.
Yeah, they did. Referees was...
Woo! Yeah. How you shoot 40 free throws in the fourth quarter after you was getting waxed out? Really?
For real?
Woo! Boy, that's what I think.
That's one of them. Yeah, I think that's one of the most infamous stories in basketball. If people that remember, if people really remember it, that was bad.
You notice they don't speak on that in the media at all. They don't even mention that championship year. They don't talk about their playoff series at all. They just don't. They don't mention them Kings teams at all. And them was some great teams that just ended up not winning. Them was some great teams.
If you remember, that's kind of started the NBA is rigged thing.
Oh yeah, like, somebody did a YouTube documentary on it, like I want to say about 12 years ago. I watched the whole documentary. I forgot the name of it, man. If I can find it, I'll put it in the chat. But it was so interesting the way that they edited it and all that. And I was like, oh, this referee said that in the game. Like, oh, okay. We know what time it is.
Right.
But people had been saying it was like that before that. It didn't take that game for people to even think that the NBA had some funny.
It didn't. They was talking like behind way before then, but when they took after we seen that game, it kind of was like it elevated. Like now we got proof like that we can probably substantiate some of these claims with.
And then the Tim Donaghy scandal came out, and everybody was like, "Wait a minute, we remember a game that did kind of look funny." Mm-hmm. Matter of fact, there was another playoff series that was in question too. The Lakers versus the Trailblazers. I think it was the Western Conference Finals. I forgot what year it was. Can't remember what year it was. That was the Bonzi Wells, Damon Stoudemire. See, we
Stoudemire. Yeah.
Scottie Pippen. Yeah. Rasheed Wallace. I think Big Dog Robinson had already retired by then. Who else was on that squad? They had a little squad over there, boy. They had a squad.
Yeah, they did.
They was getting the Lakers work. Mm-hmm. But then, my brother got a saying. He used to say every time he sees some funny business going on in the game, he'd be like, "Man, they made the call at halftime," because it used to be at halftime. They made the call at halftime.
Yeah.
Now everything changed. All of a sudden, free throw numbers start looking different. Look how they doing with the Lakers now. They trying to do everything to get the Lakers in the play-in or the playoff. The Lakers been shooting the most free throws out of anybody, and they did the same thing with the Dwight and Kobe Lakers when they was about to miss the playoffs. I remember all of this. Well, NBA is funny.
Like, certain fan bases in the playoffs, regardless.
Oh yeah,
it's a business. We got to remember it's a business. The biggest fan bases, they draw the attention. They draw the numbers. They draw the views. They get the tickets. It's in LA. You know, that's just how it is. New York. That's just how it is, bro. And it's sad for little teams. Like, bro, for real, y'all just gonna do us like this? And it's frustrating, bro. It's
very frustrating. But then again, that's why on Twitter sometimes I try to shout out different content creators, like independent content creators for even just different teams. And then you got some content creators that's just NBA content creators. They're not really necessarily. They don't work for no network. Like, they just independent. They just giving it how they see it. They're not really, well, at least we don't think they're influenced by nobody, you know, that they got some power or nothing. I think that's kind of more important in sports coverage now, man, because it's clear that the stations are paid off. It's very clear. And I understand why. The stations, you know, it's a business that they're running as well. And, you know, they want to get viewers, and they know every game or every day we got to have a LeBron topic or a Lakers topic. Every game we have to do it. Just like
and even
football,
going on to football with Cowboys.
Yep, Cowboys. Got to talk about the Cowboys every day, good, bad, or indifferent. We got to talk about them. And then we're going to sprinkle in a lot of different stuff, but we're not going to spend too much time on it. I remember when Chiney Gumike had brought up the Rockets one day on ESPN, and she was like, the producers are telling her that we don't need to talk about that. I'm just like, bro, we know what y'all, we already know this. You didn't have to say it on a hot mic. Yeah. We already know this. We know what time it is, bro.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's sad, bro. On the cool, like, you gotta have parity, and everybody, because people gotta remember the NBA and the NFL, the owners, they share revenue. So these teams contribute to your revenue as well, to getting your your money and your dollars and your TV contracts and all that. These teams and their fans that come to your stadiums and pack them out and watch their local team, they impact your revenue as well, your bottom line as well. You know what I'm saying? So it'll just make sense to at least, bro, throw some bones here and there. Throw us a little bone here and there. Like, bro, just don't have us out here in a cold like a nappy head stepchild, man.
That boy say nappy head stepchild. Oh my God.
For real, man. That's how I be feeling sometimes, Ooh, how you be feeling when your team don't get no coverage.
Nah, you're right. And it's not like Houston is Sacramento. Bro, we're the 4th largest city in the country. You mean to tell me you can't carve out some time to talk about the Rockets sometimes too? And then when they do talk about the Rockets, it's only in conjunction with something negative, or it's the Lakers involved, or Dylan Brooks. Like when they talk about the Rockets now, it's got something to do with Dylan Brooks. Like Şengün ain't been going off. Like the Rockets haven't been overachieving expectations that y'all said was going to happen before the season. Y'all said we was going to win 32 games. That's what y'all said. We on pace to win more than that. Y'all said the Rockets didn't have no top 50 players. You might want to redo that.
We got 3 of them now.
Know what I'm saying?
I think, from Bleacher Report.
As a matter of fact, I think they didn't have any top 100 players besides Fred VanVleet when the season.
You know what? I'm lying. We got 3 top 100 players. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's top 100. Not top 50,
it's 3 top 100. Yeah.
Yeah, I know one of them. It's Fred, and a lot of people always been high on Şengün. He up there, and then I think it was Dylan, but nobody.
No, it was actually Jabari.
It was I think I'm probably referencing ESPN's list or CBS list. There was a lot of different lists.
They left the one I had looked at. They had left Dylan Brooks off of it. They just gave him like honorable mention.
There was one that I saw that was only Fred. I can't remember who list it was.
Probably top 50. Probably was a top 50 list.
I had to go back and look at it, but regardless, it's egregious, bro. It's really egregious,
right?
Because you got some of the reasoning behind it is, oh, you was on losing teams, but then you sit there and you put Cade Cunningham up there. What he won?
Then you put Wemby up there.
You put Wemby up there. He ain't even play a game yet. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Shout out to all the independent content creators for whatever the hell, but especially in sports and especially in basketball, because basketball got some horrible media, boy. Of all the sports, in my opinion, I think the NBA got the absolute worst media. The worst.
Yeah,
it's literally just all propaganda. Now, this comes from somebody whose name is Rockets Propaganda. This comes from I named my channel that because, all right, if everybody pushing their own propaganda, we're gonna push some Rockets Propaganda too. We're gonna do something a little different over here. We're gonna talk about other NBA stuff, but in conjunction with the Rockets, just like y'all talk about NBA stuff in conjunction with the Lakers.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, for sure, man. I wanted to we kind of running a little long now. I kind of wanted to do something with you right quick.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I wanted to I'm gonna say one of the core 6 players. I'm gonna name all 6 of them. Tell me what the first word that comes to your mind is when you hear their name. I'm gonna start with Amen Thompson.
A man is exceptional.
Okay.
He's exceptional, bro. Like, you don't see his archetype a lot at the point guard spot. Athletic, good in between the ears, a thinker, floor vision, and he's exceptional. He just, that archetype of player usually is not running the point. They're not running the point like that. And if he clicks, he can be, I don't want to say face of the franchise, but he can definitely be better than Şengün or Cam or whoever you think could be the face of this franchise. Our man got that potential where he can actually garner some recognition as far as he might be the best player on our team.
I could see him being like a 6'7" Rondo. If he a 6'7" Rondo, folks for those who don't remember, Prime Rondo was a problem.
Yeah.
He was a problem. Because he
Boston?
He guard. Yeah, he guarded anybody. He was a dog, didn't care. He talked trash. And he wasn't the best shooter, but for whatever reason, the playoffs come around, and he just morphed into a whole nother beast. That's where he really made his name.
Yeah.
So
he was clutch. He had that clutch.
Very much so. I'm with you on the exceptional. I'm with you on that. Next person, Cam Whitmore.
I don't want to sound like but explosive.
Oh,
I just think of explosion. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I know it's, an ordinary word, but he embodies that explosion. You see, anytime he come on the court, it's an explosion. He gonna score a bunch of points. He's gonna get up and down the court. He's gonna be everywhere in passing lanes, dunking on people. He just got that explosion. Like he atomic. He's like an atomic bomb, bro. He really is. He gonna pop off.
Yeah, guys like him that just go out there and they just be hooping. You can tell they're not thinking about their numbers. They just go out there and they hoop. Them is the scariest people because you can't get in their head. They're just trying to win, or they trying to hurt you. Even if you beating them, they trying to leave you with a memory.
Right. Gonna put you on a poster.
They gonna put you on a poster, man. I know we don't do posters no more. We do a viral memes. That's the new thing. You're gonna be a meme.
You're gonna be a meme, yeah.
Yeah. What's your player comp for him? For Amen Thompson too. Like who your player comps for them guys?
My player comp for Amen is probably less athletic. I mean, a less shooting guard than like Penny Hardaway. Because Penny Hardaway was 6'8", almost 6'9", explosive, get to the rack, do all of that. And he was very, very good. Man, if you remember Penny in Orlando with Shaq, Kenny was that dude. Yeah.
People forget they beat the Bulls in the playoffs. They don't even talk about that. They beat the Bulls. MJ was playing. MJ was playing on that team. They smacked them. Bulls couldn't do nothing with them.
Bro, if our man can shoot, I'll say he'll be right there with elite Penny.
Man,
same body type, everything, bro.
Yeah, that's true. That is, man. If that's his ceiling, we winning multiples of titles. So long as he stay healthy, of course.
Right.
Yeah. What about Cam?
Cam, man. I mean, I think you probably said this on the stream yesterday, but that Carmelo Anthony, a more athletic Carmelo Anthony. Like
I had said, his shot selection was a little Carmelo.
But if you look at him, when Carmelo first came out, he was kind of chunky-ish.
Yeah, he was.
He can still dunk. He can still run, dribble. Bro, Carmelo was a beast. A freshman, true freshman, winning the college championship.
Yeah,
Syracuse.
Animal at Syracuse.
Animal. You know what I'm saying? Like, athletic Carmelo. The only thing Carmelo didn't have once he got in the league like his athleticism kind of waned, and he had to be more of a back down, turn around shooter. You know what I'm saying? But even then, then you could probably go to like a young Paul Pierce with Cam. You know what I'm saying? Paul Pierce wasn't athletic either, but the game could be similar. The shot selection, like you say, is similar. He can score anywhere on the court. Paul Pierce was a beast, man. I don't think Paul get enough love like from this younger generation, but Paul Pierce was a beast, man.
Paul. I think a lot of this younger generation only remember Paul Pierce from the Wizards and Clippers days. Now, Celtics and probably Brooklyn, because he wasn't that good over there neither. But Boston Paul was a problem. His problem was he played in an era where Kobe exists, T-Mac exists, a bunch of these other guys who was just better.
Then LeBron came along.
Yeah, and then LeBron came along. Yeah. All right. Next player. Tari Eason.
Dog. A dog. That's every time I see Tari, that's all I think about. That boy a dog. Everything like a junkyard dog, though. Not a little just any old regular dog, a junkyard dog. You know, the ones with the big fat chains around their neck. You know, he gonna guard that whole thing. He gonna guard the whole lot. He gonna be out there doing his thing, bro. Like go and get it. Hunger, drive. His anticipation is off the charts. Just that man embodies what you think about a dog. He is a dog, and I think he almost more of a dog to me than Kawhi because Kawhi he just never he looks
Kawhi is more measured.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Like Tari is go get a dog. A Ron Artest. Like that's what I think about when I look at Tari. A young Ron Artest, Indiana Pacers. Tari, almost the same guy, bro. Almost the exact same guy.
Yeah, before I forget, my player comp for Cam Whitmore was prime Jason Richardson. But yeah, Tari is I mean, that's the word. It's dog. You know, I'll tell you who he remind me a lot of. You remember Crash Wallace with the Bobcats?
Yeah.
Tell me they ain't the same person.
You talking about Gerald?
Yeah, Gerald Wallace.
Yeah.
Tell me they're not the same person. Because guess what else Gerald Wallace did? Rebound like a
Rebounded.
Yeah. Guarded anybody no matter what. He could score a little bit too. Like he could put that thing in the bucket. He was an all-star.
Oh yeah, Gerald made the all-star team.
Yeah, he was an all-star.
On the Bobcats.
Yep, on the Bobcats.
On the Bobcats.
That's the team. They had Kwame Brown. They had DJ Augustine, Steven Jackson.
Augustine was there.
Yeah, I remember that squad. I remember that squad, man. Damn, we showing our age, bro. We showing our age. Yeah. Next player, Jabari.
Jabari is, man, almost because there's so many words I can use for Jabari, bro.
Yeah.
And he is, man, I want to try to pick the best word for him, bro. Like, man, that's kind of hard because he got so many facets of his game. You know what I'm saying? Like,
very
because a dog can fit him too. You know what I'm saying? I probably would go with versatile, like in out, rebounding, his rebound uptick. If he could just be a good reside protector of the goal, and even his handles then came along. You know what I'm saying? Like, the dude is, I'll just say intensity. He's intense. I say that. He's intense. He ain't gonna take nothing from nobody on the court. We see him. He even went at Steven Adams. Remember last year? Like,
he go at anybody.
He go at everybody. Barry is intense. He wanted to fight Jalen as a rookie. He wanted to fight Jalen on the side.
He was gonna fight the whole Hawks team. Like, he don't care. I love it.
Barry is intense, and I like the intensity that he brings.
Who's a player comp you think? Because that's kind of hard, man.
Rasheed Wallace. Blazers Rasheed Wallace, though.
Blazers Rasheed.
Go look, I swear, go look at Blazers Rasheed Wallace and look at his jump shot and look at the shots he take. Bro, you're going to be like, that's Jabari. Matter of fact, it was a clip I had seen, and me and Frank was talking about this. And it was a side-by-side. You damn near couldn't tell the difference. Rasheed Wallace, and you know Rasheed Wallace didn't take no crap from nobody at all. And he got that same mentality as Rasheed Wallace. His jump shot is identical, bro. I'm talking about identical to Rasheed Wallace. Please, when you get a chance, go look at Rasheed Wallace, especially on the Blazers. I'm talking about young Rasheed. Go look at Rasheed Wallace. You're gonna be like, bro, that's Jabari through and through.
I'm trying to think, man. I can see a little bit of what you're saying. I just think they shot selection and they shot profile. Shot profile probably about similar.
They the same, bro.
Rebounds more. One of the problems with Rasheed was he didn't rebound like he could have. And he wasn't as aggressive offensively as he could have been unless you piss him off, which then again is kind of Jabari too.
Yeah, bro, I'm telling you.
I'm really thinking about the Rasheed. That can be. I wouldn't be mad at all if he ended up being Rasheed. I'm totally fine with that. I was thinking, man, it's really hard, man, because there's so many guys. I was thinking something between Anton Jameson and Big Dog Robinson, Glenn Robinson. Something between them.
I can see the Jameson. Definitely.
Yeah, because Jameson had an outside jumper, but Big Dog Robinson, he was, well, they call him Big Dog for real. He was a dog too. He was big, 6'11", shooting threes back then. Right. He was shooting threes. Another person too, I might be off. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm crazy for this, go ahead and say it. Robert Horry.
I didn't heard that before.
Because young Robert.
Only thing I would say about Robert, he was athletic. He'll dunk on your top. You know what I'm saying? Like
Rockets Robert was different.
Yeah, he was a different animal, bro. Yeah. And I wouldn't. Yeah, I can see it if Barry just had a little bit, just that much more athleticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Like, because people forget Robert Horry came in as a 3, not as a 4, and then he ended up as a 5. I could see that being Jabari. I can see that being probably a little bit more scoring punch. Defense gonna be good. Rebounding a lot better. It's so many. This is why we say that he's versatile, because there's so many pluses to his game. There's not like a lot of downside. There's really not a lot of downside to his game. And I think of all the core 6, he might be like the most unique, because it's hard to really pin him down to a actual player comp. It's really hard.
I would go as far as maybe like Vin Baker. If you remember Vin Baker, how Vin Baker.
Oh, you went back. I hated Vin Baker because I hated the whole Seattle
Supersonics.
Yeah, I said Seahawks. Yeah, Supersonics. I hated them because they used to give us problems. I like, man, we playing them again. Man, they finna lose. I remember the one season when the Nuggets finally put them out. I was like, thank God. Mutombo sitting
there. We ain't got to see them. Yeah.
Mutombo was happy as hell.
Yeah,
bro. I think, Jabari, he's my favorite Rocket. I've said this a lot of times. He's my favorite Rocket. I ain't saying he the best of the young 6, but he my favorite just because.
Right.
I just like that being an asshole, bro. I love it.
Right. I think everybody know on the channel, especially on the Chop Shop, I've been saying it. Yeah. Jabari my favorite player. He's my favorite player, bro.
You and I have seen an eye to eye on so many different topics, bro. We might be cousins. You never know, bro.
Straight up.
We might be cousins. You never know.
It's just great minds, man. Great minds think alike, bro. Great minds
big
think
time.
alike.
Big time. All right, we're down to the last 2. I'm going to actually go Jalen. We're going to say the other one for last.
Jalen.
It's not that we don't like him.
Not that I don't like him, because I do like him.
But we still got to call it we got to call a spade a spade.
I'm gonna just say inconsistent.
Mm-hmm.
He's just inconsistent right now. If he can maintain, especially this level that we see of Jalen Green, that the last 4 or 5 games that we've been seeing of Jalen Green, Jalen can probably be knocking on an all-star door next year, playing at this level. He still got another 2 to 3 levels I think he would have to get to actually be, a superstar. But it's his consistency that just have me wanting more. He always leaves me wanting more. And I don't like players that, like, you see it and you can see it, like, flash here, this game here, this game. He is young, so preference what I'm saying with he is young. But eventually, that young rap, excuse is going to run out.
You're only young for so long.
Once you get you're only young for so long.
No more excuses once you get the second contract.
Yeah, so I'm willing to grant him another like this year, and then by trade deadline next year, if he ain't more consistent, I wouldn't be upset with the Rockets thinking about, other routes to moving him. But I do like his athleticism. I really don't like his shot selection sometimes, but he's been taking more shots within the flow of the team now. Like he don't have to just heavy ISO to get his shots off. He's been playing great. His rebounding been going up. His defensive intensity been going up.
His defense been good, man.
Defense been
I'm
good,
really
man.
happy about that.
Yeah, and even his facilitating. I seen Bro do a skip pass the other day that I ain't never seen him do before.
Boy,
I'm like,
if he
bro,
add that to his bag, man. If he ever add that to his bag, that's gonna really make him a different player. It sounds simple, but something that little sometimes. A lot of players don't have their one skill that changes everything about how you have to guard them. And if that's the one thing, if he adds that particular pass, especially with the way he gets downhill, I mean, now at this point, you got to play him as a scorer and a passer. That's when you'll really see his potential. If that passing part comes along with that particular pass, because he's gonna be in the lane and somebody is gonna commit from their weak side. Somebody has to. Mm-hmm. If that happens, okay, Jalen, you hear? Because to me, it's not necessarily just the raw scoring. It's not necessarily the raw field goal percentage and none of that. It's what is his impact when he's in the game? What do we look like when he's in the game? That to me is what's important. That's why you got to watch games and not box scores. Box score pirates, they just be watching the score and then they go on Twitter and they have a hot take. Oh, he had a good game. You sure? You sure about that?
Yeah. Go evaluate a little bit deeper.
Right. I struggled with a player comp for him. I don't like the Zach LaVine one. I don't think that's too accurate because Zach LaVine got a burner of a jump shot. I don't like the Bradley Beal one either because Bradley Beal don't have the raw athleticism. Hell, Bradley Beal never really been much of a defender anyway. But Bradley Beal, he can facilitate a lot better than Jalen has to this point. We never know. I don't like that one. Who else have I heard? The Devin Booker one just never made sense.
Nah, he's not Devin. He's
made sense.
The athleticism sets him apart from Devin Booker too.
Yeah, he's a hard player to really comp. I understand.
I got one.
What you got? Let me hear.
I got one. I mean, I always compared him to a young Milwaukee Bucks Ray Allen.
He came in the league with a burner too, though.
But
he was
athleticism was off the charts. Young Ray Allen, bro.
Young Ray.
If Jalen can shoot, like Ray Allen, that comp would be so perfect for him. That's the only thing that kind of make me shy away. But as far as I can see, the young Milwaukee Bucks Ray Allen and Jalen Green. Matter of fact, I made a video about it on a Chop Shop when we first came back. I remember that. And then I had a side-by-side comparison with them, and you look at their games. Like, they was almost like the exact same player, bro. The exact same player.
I got somebody now that I think about it. Because just thinking about shot profile and what's worked, not necessarily what he's been doing, but what worked for the player. DeMar DeRozan. He a little bit of a smaller DeMar DeRozan. Because remember when DeRozan first came to the league, he was a stupid athlete. He still is. But he was a stupid athlete. They call him Vince Carter 2.0. He just didn't have the passing shots. He wasn't much of a facilitator like that. Back in the day, he was just a scorer. And the rest of his game kind of rounded out as he, obviously got older, put some more meat on his body because he was skinny too. But
right.
I can see a little DeRozan. If Jalen took DeRozan's shot profile, I think I even tweeted about this. If he took his profile and mix it with a little bit of Tony Parker's shot profile and just take the threes when they're absolutely there and necessary to keep the defense honest, I think that'll do wonders for his impact.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not all of that with you on that one, but I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, if he never becomes like a 3-point flamer, I don't think he's gonna be no 42% Steph Curry or nothing. I don't think he doesn't have to be. What he has to be is on the scouting report. Okay, we do need to close out. That's all that matters. When you're a superstar, well, he's not a superstar yet. Who knows if he'll ever be one? But if he's gonna be one, he needs to be on that scouting report, because now you can kind of leave him off a little bit unless he get hot. He get hot, okay, now he different. But all that needs to happen is, okay, we need to close out on him. And that opens up a lot more of his game. That's where the attacking the closeout comes. And then when he get in the paint, you got the skip pass now. See what I'm saying? All of that'll start to come around. It just depends. But that's something like that'll be like when he gets a kick out pass from like Şengün or Man Thompson, whoever in the paint. But I like the Tony Parker shot profile, because Tony Parker had all kind of shots from 15 feet and in. He had all kind of floaters, layups. Because he was so fast, he didn't get to the free throw line a lot. That's just because you couldn't touch him. He was just so fast.
Yeah.
But he'd be in the paint. He used to lead the league in paint points like yearly. As a little
that boy was
guard.
super fast. He was super fast.
Yeah, he was ridiculous. He was ridiculously fast. So if he can, if Jalen can be a little bit more on that end of the spectrum as far as shot profile, and Tony, he shot threes a little bit later in his career. It wasn't great at it, but he shot them to keep the defense honest. And for all intents and purposes, I think Jalen's already a better shooter than Tony Parker ever was. But what matters is the shots you take. If the shots that Jalen is taking are more impactful, because Tony Parker's was impactful.
Oh yeah,
I can see the potential now with him. It's not going to be the Kobe's and the T-Max like people were saying. That's a little crazy. But you know what? If he had a Dwayne Wade shot profile, I wouldn't be mad at that either.
I mean, Dwayne, yeah, he hit threes when he needed to.
Yeah,
he hit threes when he needed to. He wasn't just a high volume, 38, 39% 3-point shooter either. That. Yeah,
but he'll hit him when it count.
I'm not even mad if somebody was to say he was like more Dwayne Wade-ish, because he got the athleticism.
The
finishing he probably need to work on, because Flash, he used to just finish in every direction possible.
D Wade had muscle on him too though when he came in, but he came in at like 22.
Yeah, he was a little older. Yeah, he was a little older.
Like 22 years old, and Jalen about to turn 22. So we're gonna see what his body like, and his body's been coming around. I think that's another thing too. He's got to adjust to some new strength. I don't think he's adjusted to that all the way. He's starting to come around, like I said. But in the off season, we'll see what he look like, how he come back. That's gonna tell me everything I need to know about him.
But Jalen is a hard comp. He's hard to comp for.
Very hard, man. Last guy, obviously, our friend Şengün. What's the word and what's the comp?
Obviously, everybody want to say Jokic, and that's not a bad comp. That really is really not.
What's the word to describe him first, though? Then we can go into it.
Oh yeah. I mean, wizardry. He's a wizard.
That's a good word.
For real, he's like a wizard with the ball, because, and I'm not just talking about passing. You can see once he get out on the runs and in the fast breaks and stuff like that, it kind of look like he's gonna lose it almost, and then he'll probably go, have look like he's slipping up, but some way he'll get the ball up to the goal, and lay it up or do a spin move. Like, I done seen an array of offensive moves from Şengün that will rival the best. Almost dream-like, but not as fluid. Not as fluid as how the Dream used to do it. But
crafty though.
He still can. Yeah, he's real crafty, and he's real. Like some of the subtle movements that he'll do to get a dude to go this way, but then he just, oh no, I'm going back the other way, and he just got that Harry Potter wizardry to him, bro. And for real, but I love Şengün, bro. I love what he's bringing to the table, and I'm happy to see him actually succeeding.
Man, I got a player comp for him. I don't think anybody under a certain age group is gonna know who this dude is. Jack Sikma.
Jack Sikma. Where you pull him from?
Seattle Supersonics. He was older. He was
I'm about to say, I know who you mean.
Yeah.
But
His post moves for a dude that's not like jumping out the gym, his post moves are just so smooth, crafty, and it's just like, damn, I'ma just, what can I do about it? He's like a cross between that. He's got some Luis Scola to him. He got a lot of Luis Scola to him. But what sets him apart is that passing. Like, he's a combination of a few guys, and the Jokic one I think is kind of overplayed and overdone. He's more Gasol than Jokic to me. He's more Pau Gasol than Jokic, because Pau Gasol was mobile. Jokic is mobile too. I mean, not Jokic. Sengun is mobile too. But man, Jokic, man, he's lumbering, but he's just effective. Mm-hmm. He's just super effective, and he's crafty too. But Sengun got so many moves in and around the basket. The mid-range shooting touch still need to come along, especially the three-point shooting touch. That still need to come along too. But I could see a cross between some Jack Sikma, Luis Scola, and Pau Gasol. That's, if I had to pick just one, I'll go with Pau Gasol. But Pau Gasol was a good defender too. Sengun has come along in that aspect, but Pau Gasol was 7 foot, like a real 7-footer. He may have been 7'1", long arms. I like that.
Yeah, he was 7'1". He was up there.
Mm-hmm. Like, people forget. People only remember Lakers Gasol. But Grizzlies
but Grizzlies Gasol was nice. He was nice.
For sure.
When I first seen Sengun, I kind of got I don't know if you agree with me, Kevin McHale, low post moves and everything, bro. Kevin McHale moves similar to Sengun. You know what I'm saying? I was just trying to update it for more people that's gonna be noticeable. But Kevin McHale down low had so many different array of moves, and he could pass, and he was playing with Larry Bird, and he had a little bit of that flash moment, flashy passing in him too. Kevin McHale, he's not a bad comp. I wouldn't just say they a 1-for-1, you know what I'm saying, comp, but he got some Kevin McHale in him, especially though down on the low post. His low post moves.
That is a good one. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that's a really good one too. I just thought about it a little bit. He got a little bit of Zach Randolph to him too. Just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just a little bit. He got a little Zach Randolph. He got a little Zebo in him. A little bit of that. Yeah, but the Kevin McHale comp I think is pretty accurate, but I think also Kevin McHale was a great defender. Kevin McHale. He was a dog of a defender. Sengun not there yet. He's improved as much as he's improved. Boy, if he ever gets that, if he become like
he all-star caliber.
Every season, he all-star caliber now. But if we would have won more, and just my quick take, I know a lot of people feel like Sengun got snubbed. No, because if they're rewarding winning, I'm all right with that. But they just need to be consistent. If they start putting dudes in there just because of reputation and all that, I'm not too much of a fan of that. But I think that's all I got though, man. What about you, Space, man? You got anything final topics, final words?
I mean, nah, man. I think we covered a lot, man. I appreciate you for having me on your show, man. Finally get the link up and hook up on your platform, and hopefully we don't make this a one-time thing, bro. We can actually we gonna do it again, chop it up for a few, bro. But I enjoyed it, bro. To get a take off and chop it up with some real Rocket fans, man. Like I said before, whoever watching this, man, he on his way. He on his way. One of the best upcoming Rockets content creators coming out, bro. So I just enjoyed it, man. I enjoyed it, bro. I enjoyed myself.
Sure. This was a good one, man. We definitely had a good one, man. Go ahead and shoot out your where people can find you at.
Yeah, people can find me if you don't already know, man. I'm from the Rockets Chop Shop, man. Right here on YouTube. You can go ahead and follow us on Rockets Chop Shop. Well, Frank and not myself, he do the breakdowns. I do the live streams. We bring you the after game reactions and post game reactions.
And that's where it's at.
Yeah, we do. You know, we do a lot of different things on the Chop Shop. We do pods, we do live streams. Frank do the breakdowns. It's just a whole plethora of good content. If you want to satisfy your Rockets itch, your Rockets need, like you can holler at us at the Chop Shop. Man, I'm also on Twitter at SpaceGhost0624. Man, give me a follow. I'll be there. And that's basically my two platforms that I'll be on, bro. So, you know, you can find me there, man. Hit me up.
Alrighty, man. Appreciate you, SpaceGhost, for coming through one time, man. We're gonna link up on another post-game live stream.
Already, bro.
Win, though. It needs to be a win.
It's always better after a win, bro. Always better.
Exactly. But yeah, man. This has been another rendition of the Shootin' the Ish podcast. We out.